Welcome, everyone.
They're gonna get I'm just...
Even before you start, that was a preemptive shh.
Welcome to Every New Day, and this is ENDtv. Strange objects dodging missiles, emerging from the ocean, and Congress demanding answers.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation this skip for that. Whether I'm legally even allowed to answer that, and whether you're even allowed to hear it, sir.
What's really going on with UAPs? I mean UFOs. Well, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. In the next couple of minutes, we're walking through the latest hearing, new evidence, the underwater angle, and what governments are finally admitting. So let's dive in. On September the 9th, 2025, the House Task Force on the Declassification of Federal Secrets held a hearing titled Restoring Public Trust Through UAP Transparency and Whistleblower Protection. During that hearing, military veterans and whistleblowers testified about startling encounters, and members of Congress revealed previously unseen or little seen footage of objects behaving in ways they say defy current technology. Concurrently, lawmakers introduced the UAP Whistleblower Protection Act, aiming to provide legal safeguards for insiders who report UAP-related data. These developments, together with a flurry of new press coverage, mark a shift. UAPs are now firmly in the congressional, defense, and media spotlight. One of the most attention-grabbing pieces of footage shared at the hearing was that of a US military drone, an MQ-9 Reaper, launching a Hellfire missile at a glowing orb off the coast of Yemen on October the 30th of 2024, according to testimony. The missile appears to hit the object, debris flies, but the object continues on. The transcript from Congress confirms the hearing included video evidence of this sort. While the full chain of custody and classification status remain in dispute, the clip was used to argue that something is happening which is not trivial. At the hearing, several veterans testified. For example, Air Force veteran Jeffrey Nuccitelli described how his perceptions of reality changed after his encounters. The hearing emphasized the need for stronger protections for whistleblowers.
These events profoundly changed my life and the lives of my friends. We stand at a pivotal moment in history. The question is no longer whether these events are real, but whether we have the courage to face them.
Those who share UAP-related records or experiences. Task Force Chairwoman Anna Paulina Luna stated, "The American people deserve maximum transparency. Whistleblowers who provide details on spending information and policies should be able to do so without retribution." Testifier themes included objects tracked on radar and electro-optical sensors behaving in unexpected ways, reports of transmedium behavior, that's moving between air and sea, and government records or databases existing which remain partially classified. The hearing and related press strongly suggest we're past alien hysteria and into formal institutional acknowledgement of UAP as a matter of national security. But this hearing did not happen in a vacuum. In 2022, the UAP Task Force, later transitioned into All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, held the first public-facing congressional hearing on UAPs. That hearing helped normalize the topic. The government admitted it was treating UAPs as safety and intelligence concerns, and since then, AARO has published case files, both resolved and unresolved. Departments have revised reporting protocols for anomalous sightings, and media coverage has shifted from fringe to mainstream. What's new in 2025 is the twin focus on underwater transmedium phenomena plus legal protections for whistleblowers. the institutional momentum appears to be growing. One of the most significant and less publicized angles, objects that don't just fly, but swim.
If men and nations had this goodness that I speak of, I would be willing to share all this. My records, everything.
The term USO, Unidentified Submerged Object, is increasingly used. A major piece in this shift comes from retired Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet of the US Navy. Arguing in Beneath the Surface, we may learn more about UAP by looking in the ocean, and telling media that the underwater domain must not be ignored. That is interesting because despite occupying 90% of our oceans, the deep sea remains vastly unexplored. For example, a July 19, 2019 incident involving the littoral combat ship USS Omaha off San Diego, sensors recorded a spherical object hovering, then making a splash and entering the water. In March 2024, Gallaudet said underwater objects could pose a maritime security threat, specifically transmedium craft traveling deep or near surface. Why this matters? If an object can transition seamlessly from air to sea, conventional aerospace defense frameworks may be inadequate. Navy sonar, oceanographic sensors, and maritime domain awareness become part of the picture. Of course, even as interest rises, official caution remains. The Department of Defense typically emphasizes rigorous review, sensor validation, classification, alternative explanations. The AARO website lists both resolved and unresolved cases. Some cases are resolved, such as they were merely balloons or birds or sensor glitches, and many, however, remain open. Experts warn against jumping to conclusions about origins, such as extraterrestrial or otherwise, without the full data. So where are we? Growing acceptance of the phenomenon, increased institutional resources, but still major gaps. Data access, forensic chains, peer-reviewed science. And at the end of the day, can you trust them all? It isn't just the US. The international community is also taking notice. For example, in India, the story of underwater UAPs made local news in 2024. And media outlets are reporting new footage of objects emerging from the sea and transitioning into flight. While each country handles it differently, the pattern, more sensors, more reporting, more attention to sea air domains, is global. So what's next? What should Congress, defense agencies, and the scientific community do? Based on the hearing and expert commentary, some of the top recommendations are secure data custody and chain of custody for footage and sensor data, independent forensic review of key clips to rule out sensor artifacts or adversary tech, expand sensor networks, especially in maritime domains, ocean sensors plus air, legal protections for whistleblowers to report UAP USO data without retaliation. And finally, scientific interdisciplinary research involving oceanography, aerospace, sensor physics, and intelligence. If you're asking, will they reveal ETs tomorrow? Probably not. But will we see a better documented framework, improved transparency, more naval ocean sensor data? That seems increasingly likely. But to what goal? In conclusion, we are at a pivot point. UAPs are no longer just weird clips on social media. They're on the record, in Congress, in defense budgets and maritime strategy. Whether the answer is alien, adversary, natural, or technological, the important shift is clear. The world is taking them seriously. Finally. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. It helps out the channel. And check the description for the full list of sources we used for this video. I'll have the links to the hearing transcript, the AARO site, and major media coverage. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, but be cautious, especially where you're getting the information from. And I'll see you next time. This was ENDtv.